records a statement with CID over last Friday's remarks. And KTN's winners of the 2016 CNN African Journalist of the Year Award arrive from South Africa. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, Water Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa is at the moment meeting leaders from Murang'a County to iron out issues raised that have raised concern in the multi-billion shilling Northern Collector Tunnel project. Now, the project, which is expected to draw water from Murang'a rivers to help address water shortage in Nairobi County, has triggered debate within and outside Murang'a. The meeting is taking place at Safari Park Hotel here in Nairobi, and let's cross over there. We understand the Cabinet Secretary for Water, Eugene Wamalwa, is currently addressing the leaders, but of course we'll be giving you more updates on the same. Let's just listen in.
Minister of Environment, Water and Natural Resources. On the 22nd of April, I did write to her raising my concerns in regard to... Pardon? What? Okay, let me just get... There's something that is whispering to me. Who are you? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Oh, he's reminding me to say who I am. My name is Julius Wanyoike. I'm the Diocesan Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Thika. And just to say that I had written on the 22nd of April to Professor Judy Wahongo, then the water docket was in her ministry. And I want only to pick 4 issues, perhaps which could be maybe responded to. One was my concern on the groundwater sources or aquifers, in as far as... Okay, thank you. What another one? Well, my concern was on the ESI report that did not give details of how the groundwater sources or aquifers will be dealt with. And at the same time, I was raising my concern on the data on mapping of aquifers along the tunnel alignment and the disruption of the aquifers in the process of creating the tunnel. In as far as no water that is abstracted from the rivers will get into the tunnel, the likelihood of the breaking of aquifers and weirs is likely to happen. It was a concern that I was raising that needed to be worked on. The other one that I want to mention here is the protection of the Abadeas as an ecological water tower within Murang'a County. What are we going to do so that that protection is actually safeguarded? The third one is the significance of the swamps in the controlling of fronts within the areas where the tunnel is going to be dug. What is a likely scenario that is going to happen? And maybe the last one is that the floods which are to be abstracted from the rivers, what is the period of fronts to the extent that we can spend such resources in the abstraction of water? The other one about irrigation that was mentioned, and maybe perhaps those are the things that I had raised in my letter on the 22nd of April. There could have been other issues which other religious leaders may have indicated, and maybe perhaps if there is any, I'll request them to forward to me to just mention them after this. Thank you, Bwana Waziri.
Thank you very much, Bishop. And I think apart from the eminent persons, we have elders from Murang'a. I think it would be in order to give one elder a chance to speak on behalf of the Murang'a County elders. Then we'll come back to the leadership of Murang'a. the county leadership and the national leadership. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Waziri. My names are James Rogami Chombo, Chairman, Murang'a County Owners Association. Mwana Waziri, we have a reference as we consider this project, which is ongoing now, because we have that dam by the name Dakaine or Thika. And as it was being constructed, it developed a lot of steam, and we had to call other stakeholders or the implementers because we wanted assurance. One of the assurance is that the river could continue flowing because we needed those small irrigations downstream to continue growing domas, bembes, and other foods. And it is unfortunate, even as we were assured, the river was blocked. It's only accessible to us during the rainy seasons. The only very little water that continues flowing is from a very small stream called Kaihuri. And sometimes we get very, very little water. From the dam to about 5 kilometers, where Thika River joins Kerichogo River, where again we are drawing water to feed Nairobi. There's very, very little water, and sometimes you will not drink from that river. The water, it's almost standstill. Again, there was a contention because we felt that we needed the resources as the water was to be drawn from Murang'a, flowing all the way to Nairobi. So we thought it was good that we agree on a certain percentage to be left with us in Murang'a. And then the president traveled all the way to Dakaine, and he gave us that assurance, which never came. We also wanted assurance because we wanted irrigation water. We are assured of that. It is not there yet. We've got a big project that I believe the Honorable Member for Kandara have a project called Mogeki, which we've been requesting for the last 4 years, and it is not forthcoming because there isn't enough water for the same. It's also good to remember that we requested that as the water was being drawn, they committed to themselves to corporate social responsibilities. They gave us assurance that give the secondaries around that area water, our primary schools, our dispensaries, and that has not been forthcoming. It is also very good to remember that 60% of the riparians of that dam, myself being one of them, get piped to water.
All right, that is Water Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa meeting leaders from Murang'a County over the Northern Water Collector Project, and we'll definitely be bringing you more updates from Safari Park. Our reporter Rita Tinina is attending that particular forum. Now, it is a proud moment for KTN News and indeed for the Standard Group. We continue to celebrate our very own Asha Mwilu and Rashid Idi, who jointly won the CNN African Journalist of the Year award. Rashid and Asha won for the special assignment report on terrorism at the Kenya-Somalia border in Mandera County. Well, the winners are back from South Africa. Take a look.
Cindy. Just shows how as Kenyans we are a family and we are always rooting for one another, and I think this is just a celebration for Kenyan journalism that we are holding who we need to hold accountable. We are telling our Kenyan stories, and the continent is seeing that, you know what, something is happening back in Kenya and we must be really, really proud of ourselves. So this is for all of us.
I'm so grateful for this award. Just want to say thank you to Kenyan people. This shows how united we are. Asanteni sana. Kila mtu, wow. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Nimefurahi sana. Nimerisiviwa hapa na family na friends, watu wengi sana.
The competition was very, very tight, and I'm very proud that my own colleagues made it through and were the best category in news impact, and also the best category in terms of the overall winners. It is very difficult for me as a judge because I am not allowed to vote for colleagues whose entries enter an award. So when it came to Asha Mwilu's part and Rashid Idi's part, I had to recuse myself to sit outside the room as my fellow judges voted, and only return when they had agreed that this is the best.
I'm feeling proud of these three people here. Umetufanya tuwe proud sana kwa nchi yetu, na mambo yale wanafanya tunawaombea Mwenyezi Mungu awajalie waweze kutuambia story zote zile zinatendeka tuweze kufahamu.
Now, Machakos County Senator Johnston Muthama has asked the Jubilee Party to urgently address what he termed bad behavior of its members, especially Nairobi County Senator Mike Sonko. He criticized Sonko over his remarks last Friday at the funeral of politician Wavinya Ndeti's husband.
Actually governing this country with the President Uhuru Kenyatta. No wa ndio kina Sonko wanatoka. Wanasimama namna hii, maana ya mchezo wa uongozi pahali wanakaa wote, hakuna mtu anapatia mwingine heshima. Anasimama anasema mimi ni acting president. Unajua, tunasema kwa lugha fupi, ukitaka ni kufahamu vizuri, nionyeshe marafiki zako wale unatumia wakati na wao. Uhuru's friends are kina Ruto, kina Sonko, kina Nduale, and there is absolutely nothing that can come from those people. Wanajaribu kututeka ati wanasema hatuna kiongozi, hatuna mgombeaji wa urais. Wewe you know mundi mona ni muidio baba. Just look at me. Can I just sit and rest when we have no candidate for 2017? Excuse me. Mudhamo kanongi. Uzi mgombeaji. Tutawapatia wao mcheza karata ambao watachezea Jubilee, ikifika saa 6 watakuwa wanaokota vumbi. Very good. Nenda mwe huyu. Nikisema yuko, nikisema tunaye. Na hawa wanapika kelele bure. Maana Jubilee na waambia kwa jina la Yesu tutawapeleka nyumbani saa 4 2017.
All right, and those utterances made by Nairobi County Senator Mike Sonko that got him into trouble, and we understand is expected to record a statement with the CID, but our senior political reporter Chris Thyru now joins us with an update on the same from our I&M or our City Centre studios. Very good afternoon to you, Chris. Many thanks for joining us. What exactly do we expect at the CID headquarters today with regards to the Mike Mbuvi Sonko case?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Akisa, and dear viewers. We have information that Nairobi Senator Mike Mbuvi Sonko appeared before the CID officers. That's last evening, and he spent like 2.5 hours at the CID headquarters at Kiambu Road, and then he left at 8 p.m. According to his lawyer, Cliff Ombeta, is that he took himself voluntarily, and that after the summons, although he had not been given the time to appear, he decided to take himself there. That's last evening. And today we were expecting that he will be back at the CID offices, accompanied by his witnesses. And according to him is that the media misquoted him. According to him, and the video that has been circulating after his remarks is that he is third in command politically and socially. And going by his statements is that he didn't mean it constitutionally, because you know, after the president, the deputy, the third in command, of course, is the Speaker of the National Assembly. But according to Sonko is that he meant politically and socially. And so these are some of the remarks that has made him to appear before the CID officers. And we also have information that the IG, that's Boynet, has already indicated that they are in the final stages of preparing that report before they forward it to the Director of Public Prosecutions. Of course, over the weekend, we saw lawyers having different arguments, some saying that the remarks that Sonko made are treasonable and he should be arrested and charged of treason. But there are those who came to his defense, of course, saying that when he meant that he's third in command and he's the acting president, he didn't mean constitutionally, he only meant politically and socially. And so we'll be waiting. We have a team at the CID headquarters. If at all he'll be presenting himself again, now this time round accompanied by witnesses whom he, according to him, is that they have the full information of what transpired during that function. It was the burial of the husband to former Kathiani MP Wavinya Ndeti. And of course, we saw after his comments, the former Prime Minister and also the former Vice President and Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula walked out of that function after he raised those issues. And so we'll just be waiting to see if at all he'll be appearing, and if he'll have already cleared or if at all he'll already given his side of the story, then the next step is for the police to process that report and finalize it before they present it to the Director of Public Prosecution to see whether there is a case to answer or not. Akisa.
Chris, thank you very much. Of course, we'll keep an eye on that story. Chris Diary is joining us from our City Center studios on the update on Mike Sonko's case, where he's expected to go back to the CID headquarters in Kiambu. Well, at this point, we will take a short commercial break. Do not go too far. We still have a lot lined up for you here on KTN News Desk. Well, the KTN News Desk continues to follow the stories where they are. Drought is ravaging about 23 counties in the country, and as confirmed by the Cabinet Secretary for Planning and Devolution, about 1.3 million Kenyans have been affected by this kind of drought. Kitui County is one of those that has been largely affected by this situation, and our reporter Akisa Wandera is down at Kitui and now joins us live for an update on just what is the situation in Kitui. A very good afternoon to you, Dorcas. Many thanks for joining us. What could you tell us as of now?
Well, Akisa, thank you. We are at Majengo Estate, which is in Kitui Township. Believe it or not, this area is part of Kitui Town. Earlier, we had visited Kitui South and Kitui Central, in Kitui East rather, to just look at the situation. But this is an area that is within the main town, so you'd expect services. Early in the morning, we had so many people come to this water point where water is being sold for 2 shillings to 3 shillings for a 20-litre container. That's how bad the water situation is. People don't have water in their houses. Taps are dry. And early in the morning, this was a flurry of activities. This place is supposed to be open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's now 1:20, and you see many containers have been left behind because there's no water flowing. The people we've spoken to are rather angry, and they're saying they don't understand how they are in the town but they do not have water. And then also, this is an area that has a very interesting irony. A few kilometers from where we stand, there's a dam. It's known as the Kalundu Dam, and there's water there, but the residents cannot use it for their consumption because the water is dirty. They actually call it the Dam of Death. So in this ravaging crisis, this area water is such a big problem.
Most of the time when residents or the public is desperate, they look up to a leader to lead the way or just give some sort of a solution or hope. Have we seen any, given that this situation is getting worse by the day?
Actually, Akisa, when you look at the history of Kitui County, water has been a big issue. We tried to speak to the leaders who are directly responsible from the county government, the governor who is not in the country, the deputy governor who also did not give us a response. And we were able also to speak to the assistant director of the National Drought Management Authority. His name is Michael Kimithi, and he had very interesting answers. And he said that the county government is trying, the national government is trying to mitigate the problem. There's so many promises to give sand dams, to build boreholes. However, this have not been realized. And then also one thing he mentioned, that the challenge that they have with service delivery is dealing with the settlement, because apparently many people settle in populated areas, sparsely populated. So if they were to concentrate a service in one area, they have people spread out. So he did say that there are many things that they can do, but there's also the challenge of the topography and the way people have settled.
All right, thank you very much, Dorcas, for that update. We'll definitely be joining you later on to just get more information about what is happening in Kitui. And as earlier mentioned, Kitui County is one of those that have been affected by the drought situation. 23 counties have been affected, approximately 1.3 million Kenyans as well. And in the second part of this bulletin, we will be taking a look at the situation in Kilifi County, which is also one of those that have been largely affected. But let's now get into sports. Impala's Innocent Simiyu has been appointed as a Kenya Sevens coach to replace Benjamin Ayimba. His appointment was confirmed today by the Rugby Union chairman, Richard Omwela. Namcos, as he is commonly known, once captained the Kenya Sevens between 2006 and 2008 and the 15th side in 2008 to 2011. He was one of the candidates who was shortlisted for the demanding top job. He beat Charles Kadovilis and the likes of Paul Murunga, who deputized for Ayimba during his tenure. All right, we wrap it up for our KTN home viewers. Many thanks for joining us. But do remember, we continue with this bulletin on KTN News. And among the stories that we will be taking a look at is that meeting, our top story, the meeting by Water Cabinet Secretary with Murang'a County leaders, the hunger situation or the drought situation in various counties in the country. And of course, a rerun of our Spotlight 2017 story, just how effective is the role of the women representative down at the county levels. My name is Akisa Wandera. Our sign language interpreter has been Lensa Owino. See you on KTN News for the second bit.